Hello and welcome to Pushing Back, Ukraine Daily Brief. As the war enters its 808th day, these are the main developments from the past 24 hours. Russia has lost approximately 482,290 troops in Ukraine since the beginning of the war, the General Staff of Ukraine's armed forces reported. The number, which has not been independently verified, includes 1,260 casualties over the past day. According to the released Ukrainian figures, Russia lost 5 tanks, 22 armored combat vehicles, 30 artillery systems, 2 multiple launch rocket system, 1 air defense system, 42 drones, 1 military jet, 1 cruise missile, 64 vehicles, and 2 pieces of special equipment. The update from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. There were 155 combat engagements. The enemy launched a total of 13 missile and 118 airstrikes, carried out 120 multiple launch rocket system attacks on positions of Ukrainian troops and various settlements. The Ukrainian Air Force and Missile Forces strikes 3 anti-aircraft missile systems, 2 artillery systems, 2 radar stations, and 9 concentrations of troops of the Russian invaders. In its latest intelligence update, the UK's Ministry of Defence reports Gazprom, a major Russian energy firm, suffered its worst annual loss in 25 years due to the Ukraine war and declining European sales. Their revenue dropped 30% in 2023, resulting in a $6.9 billion loss. Gazprom struggled to shift exports away from Europe, finding new markets for only a small portion of lost sales. Building new pipelines like Power of Siberia 2 seems crucial for future growth. High taxes imposed by the Russian government in 2022 and 2023 further strained Gazprom's finances, reducing its ability to invest in new markets. This tax burden is expected to rise in 2024, leading to a 15% cut in Gazprom's investments. In its latest intelligence update, the Institute for the Study of War. Russian forces are conducting relatively limited offensive operations along the Russian-Ukrainian border in northern Kharkiv Oblast and continue to make tactically significant gains in likely less defended areas. The reported sizes of the Russian elements committed to these limited operations and of the Russian force grouping deployed along the border in northeastern Ukraine indicate that Russian forces are not pursuing a large-scale operation to envelop, encircle, or seize Kharkiv city at this time. Russian forces reportedly launched offensive operations along the Russian-Ukrainian border in northern Kharkiv Oblast before they had completed bringing the northern grouping of forces up to its reported planned end strength and have so far only committed a limited amount of combat power to offensive operations in the area. ISW continues to assess that the Russian offensive operations in northern Kharkiv Oblast likely aim to draw Ukrainian forces from other sectors of the front while allowing Russian forces to advance to within tube artillery range of Kharkiv city. Russian President Vladimir Putin and the Russian military command may be evaluating the risks, prospects, and timeline of offensive operations in northern Kharkiv Oblast based on the assumption that Ukraine cannot and will not be able to liberate territory seized by Russian forces. Putin's and the Russian military command's calculus about the threat of Ukrainian territorial gains is likely shaping Russia's overall operational approach to seizing territory in Ukraine. The limited Russian offensive operations in northern Kharkiv Oblast suggest that the resumption of U.S. security assistance has not changed Putin's calculus or that he launched the Kharkiv effort without reassessing the operation's fundamental assumptions about Ukrainian capabilities in light of the resumption of aid. The directions of Russian offensive operations in the international border area suggest that Russia may be attempting to create a buffer zone to protect Belgorod city, as Russian and Ukrainian officials have recently stated. Russian forces appear to be attempting to quickly isolate the battle space east of the Seversky Donets River and seize Vovchansk, a direction of advance that Russian forces may believe could threaten the Ukrainian grouping defending in the Kupiansk direction. Donetsk People's Republic head Denis Pushilin reiterated a series of Kremlin narratives intended to justify Russia's invasion of Ukraine and attempted to flatter Russian President Vladimir Putin and the Russian military during an interview in honor of the 10th anniversary of the Donetsk People's Republic founding, likely in an attempt to curry favor in the Kremlin. Ukrainian forces reportedly conducted successful drone strikes against a Russian oil refinery in Volgograd Oblast on the night of May 10 to 11. Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin submitted proposals on the composition of the new Russian government to the State Duma on May 11. Russian forces recently made confirmed advances in northern Kharkiv Oblast, near Svatov, Chasiv Yar, Avdiivka, and Donetsk City, in western Zaporizhia Oblast, and in East Bank Kherson Oblast. Firstly, on the eastern regions of Kharkiv and Donetsk where Ukrainian forces are repelling Russian attacks. He said there is heavy fighting especially near Pokrovsk. He went on to praise the 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade, the 1st Battalion of the 110th Separate Mechanized Brigade and other unnamed fighters for their bravery and effectiveness. Secondly, he acknowledged the efforts of police officers who are rescuing people in dangerous areas. Lastly, he emphasized Ukraine's efforts to strengthen its defense and push back the Russian offensive. Thanks for following today's updates. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. We'll return tomorrow with the latest news on the ongoing conflict.